In a quiet corner of a prestigious university, tucked away in books and endless whiteboards covered in equations, lived Ethan. A genius and a brilliant mind working on groundbreaking quantum computing research. The academic world admired him, but in reality, Ethan was a loner, socially withdrawn and content to be lost in the universe of his calculations and theories. His world was orderly, predictable, and entirely his own, until she arrived. Maya was the complete opposite of Ethan. She was a whirlwind of energy, a burst of color in a gray world. With her laughter that echoed through the halls and her infectious optimism, she brought warmth to everyone around her. Maya was studying art, her passion evident in the way she saw beauty in the simplest things. But while her external world was full of friends and light, Maya felt like something was missing, something she couldn't quite put into words. One fateful evening, Maya found herself in the university's most secluded library, searching for inspiration. That's when she first saw him, Ethan, with his glasses perched low on his nose, completely absorbed in his work, his fingers moving rapidly over a keyboard. Intrigued by his intensity, Maya was instantly drawn to him. Maya made it her mission to get to know Ethan, but it wasn't easy. She tried everything, striking up conversations, bringing him coffee, even playfully sketching caricatures of him when he wasn't looking. But Ethan barely acknowledged her presence, dismissing her attempts with a polite but cold indifference. To him, she was a distraction, an interruption in his carefully structured life. One day a massive storm hit the city, and the university went on a lockdown, with students and faculty trapped on campus. Maya and Ethan found themselves stuck in the same building, sharing a small, dusty office space for shelter. At first, it was awkward. Maya's attempts at small talk were met with polite disinterest, Ethan trying to ignore the lively presence beside him. But Maya was persistent. She filled the silence with stories, jokes, and laughter, slowly chipping away at Ethan's walls. Days turned into weeks, and slowly, something in Ethan began to change. He started to find Maya's traits amusing. The way she could turn an ordinary object into something beautiful with a few brushstrokes, or how she could make him laugh with her offbeat humor. Against his better judgment, he found himself looking forward to her stories, her laughter, and even her seemingly endless questions about his work. Ethan began to share parts of his world with her, explaining his research in ways she could understand. Their connection grew stronger. Maya listened with genuine interest, her admiration for him growing with each passing day. Ethan grew fond of Maya, but when the lockdown was finally lifted, he retreated back into his shell, determined to return to his single life. He distanced himself from her, believing that it was for the best. Then just as suddenly, Maya stopped coming around, and Ethan's world felt emptier than it ever had before. The silence that he once cherished now felt oppressive, and he couldn't stop thinking about her. He realized with a sudden clarity that he had got used to her presence, and he needed her more than he would have liked to admit. Unable to focus, Ethan decided to find Maya. He searched everywhere on campus but found no trace of her. Finally, he learned from a mutual friend that Maya had left the university due to a serious illness. She was in the hospital, her condition worsening by the day. Panic surged through Ethan. He rushed to the hospital, where he found Maya, pale and weak, hooked up to machines. The vibrant girl who had brought so much joy into his life was fading away. The doctors informed him that Maya's only chance of survival was a kidney transplant, but finding a match was proving difficult. Without a second thought, Ethan volunteered to be tested. By a stroke of fate, he was a perfect match. The surgery was scheduled, and Ethan didn't hesitate, willing to do anything to save her. The surgery was a success. Maya slowly regained her strength, and when she finally woke up, she found Ethan by her side. Tears filled her eyes as she realized what he had done for her. "Why, Ethan?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. Ethan took her hand, his eyes softening with emotion. "Because you brought me to life, Maya. I didn't realize how empty my world was until you filled it with color. I don't want to go back to that life. I want to be with you." Maya smiled, her heart swelling with love for the man who had once been so distant. They embraced, holding onto each other as if they would never let go. In the months that followed, Maya fully recovered. Ethan and her left the hustle and bustle of the city behind, moving to a quaint cottage in a picturesque village, a place Maya had always dreamed of living. In their little cottage, surrounded by nature, they found happiness together. Ethan continued his research, but now with Maya by his side, her laughter filling their home, her art adorning their walls. In the end, they had each changed for the better. Their lives were no longer defined by solitude or emptiness, but by the love they shared, a love that had brought them together against all odds and would keep them together for the rest of their days.